everyone doing? Good stuff, good stuff. I can keep talking. And when is my voter coming? Thank you. This fire in the Bronx impacted us all. I recall the day of and the days after, and seeing the overwhelming response from not only the FDNY, with the acting commissioner was there, really manning and women the troops, the first responders, EMS, watching those officers and firefighters come out with soot covering them, traumatized by watching the bodies leave the building in general, but specifically the children and the number of lives lost. But I also saw the heroic energy and spirit of the council persons, the borough president, the state and federal lawmakers, and you were all, you ladies and gentlemen, you all knew. You were new to your jobs. We were all rookies, but we all responded. We all came together, and so although we took immediate actions with our executive order, the councilmatic team went and decided with the speaker that we need to do some real work. If not to eradicate incidents like that, to alleviate them. We cannot drop the ball, and I want each council person to specifically talk about their piece of legislation. I don't want to do that. They did the work. They made it happen. And so I will call them up individually to talk about their piece of legislation and the energy behind it. And we're holding these hearings and bill signing for 5 bills to strengthen safety in New York City. The tragedy impacted us, and out of tragedy should come change. It should not bring about stagnation, and that's what we did. 17 New Yorkers we lost. Children were included in that at the Twin Parks apartments. We mourn their passing, but mourning the passing is just not enough. Government must do more and must respond better. And so the Office of the Mayor, the FDNY, the City Council, Housing, Preservation and Development, Department of Buildings, landlords, and residents must all work together to prevent a tragedy like this from reoccurring. Although we did our executive order, the City Council immediately kicked into gear and started putting in place what they saw as some of the legislative changes that we need to do. And Councilman Felice, I thank you for chairing the task force up there and just being thoughtful of how do we make government work. And so I'm proud to have partnered with the City Council, and I'm proud to sign these bills today. The fire at Twin Parks was caused by a defective heater, and it was caused because of the self-closing doors. When you look at the combination, those are clear things that we can do if we just had the energy. And if the heater would have shut off, if the doors would have closed, we probably would be having a different conversation right now. So today, these 5 bills, we're going to take action. Intro 104, 105, Intro 131, 106, Intro 155. All of them are crucial, and we're going to call up each council person and allow them to talk about their bills. But at this time, I'm going to call up the partner in this New York City law firms, Adams and Adams, Speaker Adams.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Mayor Adams. Thank you for hosting us for today's bill signing. As the mayor said, this package of bills has deep meaning to this council and to our entire city, following one of the worst tragedies in New York City history. The fire at Twin Parks Northwest apartment complex on January 9th was the deadliest fire in New York City since the Happy Land nightclub fire in 1990. It was also one of the worst residential fires in the United States in decades. It claimed the lives of 17 of our fellow New Yorkers, including 8 children. Investigators found several violations and flaws that led to this becoming such a tragedy. And as a result, The City Council established the Twin Parks Citywide Task Force for Fire Safety, led by Chair Councilmember Oswald Felice, to address the underlying issues that caused this fire and others. Through the leadership of Chair Felice, as well as the chair of our Committee on Fire and Emergency Management, Councilmember and Chair Joan Ariola, and Housing and Buildings Chair Pierina Sanchez, we passed several bills to enact solutions. By signing this package of bills into law, we are putting those measures into place and making New York City safer. As we do our part to decrease future fire tragedies, let's honor those whom we've lost. And let's continue to do all we can to protect all New Yorkers from deadly fires. These bills are a huge step forward, and we also know there still remains work to do ahead. Thank you again to my colleagues in the council who sponsored these bills, Council members Oswald Felice, Pierina Sanchez, David Carr, and Shahana Hanif. And thank you again, Mayor Eric Adams, for signing these bills into law. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So why don't we turn it over to our councilmen and women so they can talk about the particular bills that they sign as Julie Menon flows in. First, we're going to bring Councilman Felice.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I am Councilmember Oswald Felice. I want to start by thanking everyone that was there, helping affected families during these times of tragedy. I want to thank our New York City mayor who was working on the ground 24 hours a day, making sure that these affected families received all the resources that they needed. I also want to thank our speaker, Adrian Adams, and all my colleagues in the City Council for being great partners in this journey to build a safer New York City. I also want to thank members of our fire department. That Sunday morning, we saw them running towards danger and risking their own lives to save the lives of families that they had never, ever met. We're very thankful and we're very grateful for every single firefighter that played a role in helping those families that Sunday morning. Today, we're taking action to help resolve the fire safety challenges that continue to plague our city and especially the borough of the Bronx. We have to tackle all the causes of fires, as we're doing today, by banning the sale of specific space heaters that do not have protections such as automatic shutoffs. We have to tackle all the causes of fires, but at the same time, we have to make sure that families have the tools so that if there is a fire, they can safely escape. The tools so that if there is a fire, they can safely escape. There was one tool that could have prevented that horror that we saw that Sunday morning. One tool that could have prevented that horror that we saw. Properly functioning self-closing doors. Had those self-closing doors actually functioned, smoke would not have filled the entire 19-story high-rise, and those families would have been able to safely escape. The self-closing doors were not properly functioning, allowing this fire to turn into the tragedy that we saw that Sunday morning where we lost 17 innocent lives. These fire safety bills will help ensure that another similar tragedy never happens again anywhere in our city by helping ensure that self-closing door laws are being taken seriously by all. By helping ensure that self-closing door laws are being strictly followed and also strictly enforced. By giving landlords no more than 14 days to fix self-closing door laws, but also requiring a mandatory re-inspection to confirm that those self-closing door violations have been fixed, and also increasing fines and civil penalties for bad actors, including property owners that falsely state they made self-closing door repairs. Self-closing doors can save lives. Self-closing doors, or properly working self-closing doors, could have prevented that tragedy that we saw in the Bronx in Twin Parks. Self-closing doors prevent fires and smoke from spreading and from harming families. So I want to thank all my colleagues that took action to help ensure that the self-closing doors are working and closing and protecting our families. I also want to thank everyone who joined us in this quest to improve fire safety in the city of New York. Thank you, Mayor Adams, for signing these very important bills and making them law in the city of New York. I also want to thank Speaker Adams for making fire safety a top priority for this city council. We were able to move very quickly on these fire safety bills because of the work of all of our colleagues and a city council led by Speaker Adams. And I also want to thank all of my colleagues who also played a big role in making sure that these bills moved as fast as possible. So thank you. I want to thank everyone for joining us. We're improving fire safety in the city of New York, and today we're taking action to making sure that the self-closing doors are actually closing and preventing tragedies. Thank you so much.
And for Bill 106-A, Councilperson Hanif.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Councilmember Shahana Hanif from Brooklyn, and I just want to give a big shout out to my Bronx colleagues for being so welcoming immediately after the fire and allowing us to support in every way and having a united front on addressing fire and other emergency issues following the tragedy in the Bronx. I want to first start off by just naming the 17 individuals who were killed, and maybe always remember their spirit and their legacy. Sarah Janneh, Seydou Touré, Hawa Mahmoudou, Haji Doucouré, Haja Doucouré, Mustafa Doucouré, Mariam Doucouré, Fatoumata Doucouré, Fatoumata Dramé, Fatoumala Dramé, Niumaisha Dramé, Mohammed Dramé, Fatoumata Tunkara, Omar Jambang, Aissatou Jabbi, Haji Jawara, Usmani Conte. These are the names of the 17 Black Muslim immigrants who were killed in the tragic Twin Parks or Touré Towers fire as my colleagues and I started our term. And now 6 months in, today marks a very important day for our city. Big thank you to Speaker Adams for taking this issue urgently and moving quickly. And for, of course, Mayor Adams and his team for moving as quickly too on signing Intro 106A into law. Congratulations to my colleagues who also have bills being signed into law today. I'm so proud to work with colleagues who are proactively invested in keeping New Yorkers alive and safe. I want to give a shout out to Public Advocate Williams and Councilmember Sanchez, Powers, and Feliz for introducing this legislation with me, and for Councilmember Feliz, especially for his continued leadership on this issue, leading the Twin Parks citywide task force on fire prevention in the face of continued immeasurable pain. And of course, thank you to Councilmember and Chair Ariola for passing it through committee and her leadership in the Fire and Emergency Management Committee. The devastating and avoidable Twin Parks fire in the Bronx was caused by a space heater that was on for a prolonged period of time and then overheated. This may seem like a rare thing, but incidents like this are a leading cause of fires across this country. We know we cannot eliminate space heater usage in New York City. While landlords have an obligation to their tenants to provide adequate heating, this obligation is often not met, and residents are forced to resort to using electric heaters to stay warm. However, we cannot simply accept people will be put in harm's way because of neglect. I'm so proud that we are taking action to end this neglect. Intro 106A ensures that heaters are as safe as possible to prevent future tragedies by requiring all space heaters sold in New York City to be equipped with 1, a thermostat, 2, an automatic function that disables the heater upon overheating or tipping over, and 3, a safety certification from a nationally recognized testing laboratory. These essential pieces of safety technology will significantly reduce the risk of a space heater causing a fire. Finally, I want to thank the advocacy and work of the grassroots community groups like the Gambian Youth Organization, which sprang into action after the fire and are continuing to support families. Of the 17 victims, all of them were working class West African Muslim immigrants. The work of mutual aid groups and connected networks of Muslim New Yorkers and communities in and outside of the Bronx delivered the care, materials, and comfort to dozens of families in need in the immediate aftermath. They've been tireless advocates for meeting the needs of those affected, and addressing the root causes of this avoidable tragedy. So today, I'm so proud to stand with our communities to ensure dignified housing and no more deaths in the face of fire. Thank you.
And Councilperson Sanchez.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Speaker Adams for your leadership and stewarding these pieces of legislation through the council. And of course, to Mayor Adams, you don't have to sign every piece of legislation. You don't have to be there at every tragedy, but on day one you were, and our speaker was. And I think that starting off the year in such a tragic way, at least there was a silver lining that we could all be there together with Councilmember Feliz. So today, I'm so proud to be having 131A pass, which will expand educational outreach regarding space heaters. It's a sort of companion bill to Councilmember Hanif's bill, and it adds increased language access for immigrant communities. Educational outreach by the FDNY reaches thousands of New Yorkers each year, but we know that there are barriers to reaching our immigrant communities, which of course were so impacted on January 9th. So expanding this to include the top 10 languages will ensure that they have access to the information other New Yorkers are receiving. And now this is the first package of legislation that the council is passing in honor and in respect and in response to the Twin Parks fire. But it is just the beginning, to be clear. We do not now rest. We continue to improve building and fire safety, holding landlords accountable, modernizing our fire and building codes, and ensuring adequate code enforcement is working for all New Yorkers. In fact, there have been so many bills introduced following these bills that were first introduced by the council, and I look forward to working with council members Feliz and Areola to steward these forward. So thank you so much, Mayor Adams, for signing these into law, and let's get it done.
And Councilperson Carr, 155-A.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember David Carr from what the mayor always and quite properly refers to as the never forgotten borough of Staten Island. So proud to be here among my colleagues, seeing this great package of legislation signed into law. You know, we keep hearing that these fires are referred to as tragedies, and they absolutely are. They take lives, they take people's homes, and they take people's memories with them. And the only thing that we can do to compound the tragedy is to fail to learn and then fail to act. And I'm so proud to be part of this group of lawmakers led by our speaker and our three great committee chairs, Chair Areola, Chair Sanchez, and Chair Feliz, along with my colleagues who have bills being signed into law today, to make sure that we show that we've learned and that we're acting in the wake of the tragic fire in the Bronx. My particular piece of legislation was inspired by a fire in Staten Island where a construction defect in a home led to a fire that devastated a family and then was discovered to be in additional homes in a homeowners association. So I think the best thing that we can do is to try to help people build back, try to help people correct those defects so that their homes are safe from the kind of fires that ravage their neighbor, and do what we can to make sure that government helps them achieve those goals. And that's what my bill does by trying to waive a fee. I'm particularly confident knowing that the mayor's appointed a great commissioner of buildings to administer that agency, and Commissioner Ulrich, and will faithfully execute this law. And so grateful again for him and his team for making this bill into law today, as well again to our speaker and our great committee chairs. And congratulations to all my colleagues. Thank you.
And we don't get any of these items done without a team. So I just really want to let them have a few words. Some of our council persons who are here. Farias, you're first, and we'll move on from there.
Hi, everyone. I will actually be super brief. I'm really proud to be here today supporting my colleagues' work. My district saw what happened in Councilmember Felice's community and sprung right into action. Within the first 2 or 3 days, I had thousands of products, hygiene, baby items, clothing, food, non-perishables in my office ready to move into that district. And that's really because the Bronx looks out for their own, and we know what it means to have community, and it takes a village to really protect one another. And so I'm just here, happy to be sponsoring on these bills, happy to be supporting the efforts that were made. And to my colleague, Councilmember Sanchez's note, I also have put in some bills after this, realizing the few flaws that we might have in our system because we're so used to being in high density areas and in our city. And so really our responsiveness, Speaker Adrian Adams' expedited response, and the mayor really taking the culmination of all of that work by signing it in today is a beautiful moment for us. And it leaves us here showing that it's great to act and to act fast, but also how do we look at emergency preparedness in a new way, in a new light with all of these bills. So thank you all for joining, and thank you for the moment to speak, Mr. Mayor. Appreciate it.
And the Chair of Fire Safety, Councilwoman Areola.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, everyone. I think on the night of the Twin Parks fire, we all stood there in shock and disbelief. But we're New Yorkers, so we took action. Mr. Mayor, thank you for how quickly you signed that executive order. Speaker Adams, thank you for how quickly you moved those bills to the City Council for introduction. To my colleagues, thank you for putting those bills together. I am co-prime sponsor on 2, and I'm proud to be a sponsor on the rest. But what you're seeing before you is what can happen when you work in a bipartisan fashion. That's how quickly things can get done. This is a comprehensive package of bills that will save lives. I'm proud to be the chair of Fire and Emergency Management. I'm proud to have shepherded this through our committee. I'm so proud of our committee members who voted unanimously for each and every one of your bills. I look forward to future bills to come before our committee, co-sponsoring with you, sponsoring with you, and making sure that our city remains safe. Thank you.
And finally, the Chair of Small Business Services, Julie Menon, Councilwoman.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, and I really want to thank the mayor and their speaker for their incredible leadership in bringing this package of bills together. I want to thank and congratulate my colleagues, Chair Felice, Chair Sanchez, Chair Areola, Chair Hanif, Councilmember David Carr. I'm a co-prime sponsor on this. And when I was coming over here, I was thinking about it. I'm a mom of 4, and to think about on January 9th, those families, there are 8 children that were killed, to have that call that you have lost a child. There is no greater pain that you can go through. And so when I think about the work that we do as elected officials, there's frankly no higher calling than protecting lives, and particularly protecting vulnerable families and children. So I'm delighted to be here and want to congratulate my colleagues on their leadership. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank my team, the Chief Housing Officer, Jessica Katz, so just really getting this stuff done. And it's important. HPD Commissioner Carry On, thank you. Phil Banks, Deputy Mayor of Public Safety, and Acting Commissioner of Fire Department, Commissioner Kavanaugh. So let's sign this. How could I forget you? And I agree. So make sure I'm sorry, I don't want to sign in the wrong place. I'm signing here. And who is 106A? Good? Okay. 131. Right? Yeah. And 155A. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you all. Good work. Great work. Take care.